Hey guys, welcome back to the Project B-Ball podcast. My name is Aakarsh Jain.
My name's Jain.
And I'm Gokul Ryan.
For this episode 11, I believe, for the Project B-Ball podcast, we're going to talk about two stories. We're talking about the NBA 2K tournament with the actual NBA players playing 2K, and then we're also going to talk about some unknown NBA stories that we all feel inspired and we like a lot. First off, for the NBA 2K tournament, today there were some games that was already aired. Aakarsh, what are the games that were played today?
Kevin Durant versus Derrick Jones Jr. I think was one of them. Pull it up. So KD versus Derrick Jones Jr. was one of them, and then we have Sabonis versus let's see. Well, look, what do you guys think about KD getting upset in the first round?
No, it doesn't really matter that much. Like, these guys are not playing 2K for that much anyway. So who cares if he got upset or not? It's just it doesn't mean anything in the end, right? Like, as long as he's out there and playing, he's just that's what they want. And they want the image of KD. Like, they got this big superstar playing a pretty crap game. That's always a good thing.
So here, I got it pulled up. So round one, we have on the first side, the first seed and the 16th seed, Kevin Durant and Derrick Jones Jr. Then you have Montrezl Harrell versus Sabonis. Then Devin Booker versus Michael Porter Jr. and Donovan Mitchell versus Rui Hachimura.
Okay, what about on the other side? Other side of the bracket.
On the other side, we have Trae Young versus Harrison Barnes, Zach LaVine versus DeAndre Ayton, Andre Drummond versus DeMarcus Cousins, and Hassan Whiteside versus Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, so, wait, who's your favorite to win? I know, Kevin Durant got lost. I'm pretty sure Trae Young won his thing, and I'm not sure about Patrick Beverley versus whoever he was playing yet, because the games are going on, right now as we're recording the episode. What do you think about them getting actually some good, known players in this NBA 2K tournament? Is that testing?
It's building it up. Everyone's obviously bored right now, so there's something to look to for fun. And it actually sounds pretty fun too, a video game being streamed on ESPN. So.
Yeah, that's the fun aspect about it. It's you get these good players playing your pretty trash game, but it's still for the fun aspect. Everyone's bored. It's ESPN playing a video game. That's it. They're streaming the video game going out. So it's pretty interesting. 2K is trying to switch it up in their business plan, I guess. My favorite to win the whole thing is probably I don't know who's maybe Devin Booker or Michael Porter. Whoever wins that two are probably gonna win, because those guys are the type of gamers, they play Fortnite, Call of Duty, and all that type of stuff. So they play video games for a lot. So they'd probably be winning this. Who's your favorite, Gokul and Aakarsh, to win the thing?
I mean, for me, Kevin Durant was Kevin Durant always talks about how good he is at 2K, and then just that he lost the first round was it was pretty shocking to me, because he prides himself on his 2K skills. But I think going forward, like you said, Devin Booker, that's a good candidate, as he plays a lot of video games. So yeah, I'm gonna be rooting for Devin Booker to win.
Gokul, who are you going for?
Yeah, I also probably would Devin Booker. But usually when I think of 2K and all these players, the first one that usually comes to mind is Kevin Durant. Because first he's a cover athlete, and then he's just more associated with the game. But since he's gone, probably Booker.
Okay. So now we're going to the second segment of our episode. Now we're going to talk about unknown NBA stories, the stories that we as NBA fans heard before and we were inspired and stuff like that. My story was talking about the Paul Pierce story. So
Wait, real quick, can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
I was just reading about the tournament, and I saw a meme which said KD sending Kyrie a message by not playing with the Nets in the 2K tournament. Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
It's actually kind of funny. Yeah, so, okay, as I was going about, my unknown NBA story that I would like to talk about in this episode is the Paul Pierce story about when he was 22. in the year 2000, he was at like a private club in Boston and he was doing his thing, and then he got attacked by some dude. He got stabbed like 11 times, and then he was saved. It was a miracle from this, and it was like. And it was like inspiring that he still did not. The stabbing did not cause only him to miss one game. Wait, he didn't even cause Paul Pierce to miss a single game. That stabbing, that's inspiring. Like to be stabbed and then you still playing like the next day for a game. I don't think it was the next day, probably a couple of days later. And he was one of the only players to play all 82 games that season in the 2002-2001 season. I think that's the year that Shaq said he's the word I can't say truth. And Paul Pierce, he's an interesting guy. He's kind of a bad analyst, but like, that's when you have ego and he was clutch in his career, but he was no better than, like, he thinks of himself as like better than Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's one of the best shooting guards of all time. Paul Pierce is not even making a top 10 small forwards of all time list. It's just like he thinks of, like, if you think about like looking at through these years, like 2000s to 2010s to 2000s, Paul Pierce is like Paul George. Like what we think of Paul George is like what the people in the 2000s think about Paul Pierce. He was good. He won his championship. He got a Finals MVP. He had a legendary career, and these moments like him make people respect him. And there's moments like his analyst part where everyone loses the respect they have. But like when what he did on the court is amazing, and there's nothing to deny it. Goku, Aakarsh, any comments or thoughts on the Paul Pierce story?
I mean, I honestly think it's crazy that he played 82 games after getting stabbed in the back. How many times was it? 12 or something?
11.
11 times. Yeah, that's crazy. And that's a testament to how much he how much he loves the game of basketball, that he came in and played 82 games that season, and played really well even after getting stabbed in the back. So, yeah.
What do you think about like Paul Pierce as like a player and like an analyst right now? Like, currently, what do you?
I think he's a great player. He definitely hasn't had a better career than Dwayne Wade, I'll tell you that. But I think he's definitely a great player. I mean, he won a championship. He's done a lot with his career. He's a great shooter. He's well respected by the Celtics fans. I definitely think he's a great player. And obviously, when he started being an analyst, his takes in the beginning were kind of wrong, to say the least. Or I'm not wrong, but like it's his opinion. But they were kind of sus in the beginning. Because he said he was better than Dwayne Wade and stuff. And if you gave him all the people LeBron had, he would be better than LeBron and stuff. But now his analytics and the analysis he does is like it's decent. I wouldn't say it's good, but it's better than what he did when he first started his when he first joined ESPN.
Yeah, say he got in better, but like something that still like annoys me. You said, remember last year in the playoffs when the Celtics won the first game of the series? It's like, it's series over. The Bucks are not coming back, and the Bucks win the next 4 games. Stuff like that. That just like, like analysts can never always be right. So like he's still learning and he's getting better. He does provide good.
Much better than
he provides good.
Much more likable.
Yeah,
because he knows like. I think before he was just saying that because he was in the NBA like the season before, and he was like, "Man, I had a good career." Just like looking back in retrospect, but now he's had like a full year to look and analyze at the NBA. Like as being a viewer rather than a player, his opinions could change.
Yeah, that's a good statement there. Being a viewer than a player. Goku, do you have any thoughts on Paul Pierce, a story, and what he's doing now?
Yeah, I think that like the fact that he's able to play another game after what happened to him is a big deal. Like 12 times is, you said 12 times, right? That's 11, 12. It's like that's like really hard thing to think about, how with all that pain he was still able to come back and play. But he definitely looked like he had a really great career. And as you guys said, he may not be the best analytics guy, but he's getting there. And this event that happened to him, like you can see that truly shaped him, and then it just made him the person he was, and a great player too.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just like, yeah, he had an amazing NBA career, and he hopefully he gets better in his analyst point of view now. Coach, now would you like to share your story that you thought it would be interesting to talk about?
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about the Rockets and the Clippers tunnel war that happened a couple of years ago. I mean, it's a fairly people like deep basketball fans, avid basketball fans know about this story, but there are some people that don't know. So if you don't know, here it is. So what happened was this year, Chris Paul got traded to the Rockets from the Clippers. I think, did he request a trade, Renee?
I think he did. He requested a trade. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he requested a trade, right? So there was some bad blood between Chris Paul and his former Clippers teammates, right? So during the game, the teammates are giving him, they're just trash talking him, and they're giving him they're causing a lot of friction in the game, and causing a lot of turmoil to occur. Namely, Blake Griffin, as well as another Clippers teammate, Austin Rivers, were talking a lot to Chris Paul. And then after the game, Chris Paul, knowing the Staples Center pretty well as he played there for quite a while, he knew all the entrances and exits and everything, and he knew this secret tunnel that led to the Clippers locker room, right? So he and his Rockets teammates got together and made this huge scheme on how they were going to enter the Clippers locker room and do something in there. I don't know what they were planning to do, but yeah. So they had Clint Capella go up to the front of the locker room and knock the door to pose as a distraction so Chris Paul and James Harden could sneak through the back. I honestly find that hilarious that they used Clint Capella to do so. As soon as Clint Capella knocked, the Clippers teammates opened the door, and immediately after they saw him, they slammed it in his face. And then soon after, Chris Paul and Harden snuck back from the back door, and yeah. Not much is known after that, but they were able to sneak in. So yeah.
Yeah. What's your reaction to that? Like, I know this happened. Not.
I mean, I honestly think it's a hilarious story because and the Game of Zones episode on it's like really funny.
Oh yeah. I was just about to say that. That was really funny.
Yeah.
My thing with it shows a different side of Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul is my favorite point guard of all time and stuff like that, but like he's still like this type of stuff. Everyone talks about his leadership, but like this type of stuff, this is immaturity right here. Like you can't defend the dude's actions to doing this. It's funny. It's so funny that he did it, like how Clint Capella got the door was slammed in front of him and like stuff like that. I hope one day James Harden and Chris Paul can say what happened when they're in the locker room. But it's just like, wait, James Harden and Chris Paul are the leaders of their teams, but like the type of mentality they're showing here, what's accepted in that locker room about them they can do something like this. They go into another a team's locker room and do whatever they want in there. It's not showing maturity or anything at all. And I feel like that type of culture is what they wanted to get out from Houston. Like that's why Chris Paul, they traded Chris Paul away from Houston because they didn't want that type of culture. Goku, do you somewhat agree with what I'm saying about like the culture thing here?
I honestly just think the entire situation's hilarious.
It's fun, but like Renee was saying, it is not really mature of Chris Paul. But it is really funny for us. But for Clippers fans, it must be really like it might be another reason for them to kind of hate Chris Paul. Like obviously he's their franchise point guard, but like
they shouldn't hate him. He's done a lot.
Yeah, he did a lot for them. I can say that, but it's just another. You know how fan bases are after a star player gets traded or moves away, like Isaiah Thomas, for example. So in that sense, yeah, it makes sense why Clippers fans would be mad about that situation.
Yeah. Should we move on to the next story? Goku has a very unknown story. I didn't know anything about it until Goku showed this to me the other day. Goku, please talk about your story.
Yeah, sure. So this is about Ryan Anderson. It's not really a current story. It's like 7 years ago about. So Ryan Anderson, he started off his career pretty strong. Like he came from parents who, if you saw, you wouldn't think that their son would be a basketball player, but he just made it there. So Ryan Anderson's known to his teammates as the player who's always had the back for anyone, and he's always filled with compassion and a nice guy. So in the 2012 All-Star break, he traveled to the Bahamas, and then he met the love of his life, who was a model named Gia Alaman, and he fell in love with her. The next season, he was part of the New Orleans Pelicans, and then he had a solid season actually, putting up 16.2 points per game and 6.4 rebounds per game. I'm not sure if this was the one he led the league in three-pointers, but yeah, that was either the next one or this, I'm not sure. But yeah, suddenly one day he got into an argument with her, and then because of that, he spent the night at his friend's house. But then suddenly he got a call from her mom saying that there was something wrong. So he rushed home to her house to find her that she had committed suicide. And this was like a huge blow to Ryan Anderson. Like he was like hysterical after this. And then his coach actually, Monty Williams, who we all know, Monty Williams is like a great guy. So that night he took him to his house and then made sure Ryan Anderson was okay. And then, like in the following interviews, whenever this was mentioned, he just broke down completely. Now he's a little past it, but this was a huge blow to him, and it's taken a big toll on him. That's why we see him as a quiet guy. So yeah, that's the unknown story about Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, it's
Extremely sad.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
It's good. Monty Williams is the current coach of the Phoenix Suns. This is the type of stuff that make players around the league love Monty Williams as a coach.
Yeah, did he win awards like sometime back, like 2 years ago or something for something like this? After his wife died.
I don't exactly remember about that award stuff. I think this was the season where Ryan Anderson won Most Improved Player of the Year. I'm not 100% sure on that one too, but yeah, Ryan Anderson. Yeah, it's a sad story, and it's something that no one really knows.
The award he won was a Sager Strong Award after Chris Sager, the legendary TNT host.
Oh, okay.
Well, who won the award?
Monty Williams won the Sager Strong Award.
Yeah, that was an extremely sad story, and yeah. So, well, do you guys have any more opinions on that story?
Not really. It's just a sad story, and it defines Ryan Anderson as a person. Guys, that's gonna end it for this episode. We heard some unknown stories that are sad. Some are inspiring. Some are just immature. We can say it like that. That's gonna be the end of this episode. There was the 2K tournament we talked about in the beginning. It's a good thing for 2K for doing that. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you on with the next episode. Bye.
Bye.